Hi everyone, it's James here from Pro Tools Expert, and I have a bit of a Pro Tools Expert scoop for you. We are one of the very, very few people who have got our hands on the new Universal Audio Apollo Twin. Now, this is a seriously nice piece of kit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some recording on this here thing. I've done a bit of a track already, and I'll show you how I'm using the Apollo Twin to put together a sort of a basic rock track and some of the really cool things that the Twin has to offer guitarists, singer-songwriters, those who are a little more discerning when it comes to their audio requirements but don't need the full tracking capabilities of something like the Apollo Quad or the Apollo 16. So let's go over there and have a look at it. Let's get up close and personal with the Apollo Twin. My setup is very straightforward. Headphone output and my high impedance guitar input. This is basically the same as plugging a guitar straight into the unit. Then on the back, I've got my microphone 2 input, my line outputs direct into my speakers, my Thunderbolt connection, and my power supply. Now the power supply is very cool. It's not just a push in and hope job. It actually twists and locks in, so there's no chance of it coming out while you're working, which is great. Setup wise, I can go between my 2 mic channels, and at the moment, because I've plugged a high impedance input in, you'll see that channel 1 defaults to high Z, high impedance, and I can then set up the preamp on that. So you're wondering, if I've just gone straight in from the guitar into the channel 1 high impedance input, how am I getting that amazing guitar tone? That's because in the first channel, in the first slot, what I've done is I'm using the Engel E765 plugin. Now this thing's giving me my dirty guitar sound, and it sounds awesome. So if I solo just that particular element right now, this thing sounds absolutely wicked. So there's my first kind of guitar channel that I'm going to do. But I want to fatten that up with a second, a more real guitar part. And for that, I'm going to use channel 2, plugged a mic in. I've put an SM57 in front of my Marshall JCM800. And you'll see here that round the outside, I've got this orange indication. Now, the orange is very, very cool. This means we're using the new Apollo Twin Unison mic pre section. Now, the Unison section is found here on the Apollo console, and it means I'm using the recreation of a classic preamp that UA have put into the console application. They call this the Unison technology, and at the moment I'm using the UA 610B channel strip. And I've got it set up like that so you can see. Let's wind it up a little bit. Let's get the input right. Now, if I bypass that mic pre, you'll hear a hell of a difference. And I'd probably have to turn the gain down a little bit. Let's put the mic pre back in. Let's put the gain down a little bit and bring it up on the pre. And a good blend of the two of them is going to be my guitar tone. Now that sounds pretty cool, but you can also hear I've got quite a big reverb on that as well. And again, I'm using one of the console UA reverbs. I'm using the Lexicon 224, and that I've put in my auxiliary 1 slot, and I'm sending quite a lot in there. I've got it sort of pretty well set, fairly low, but I'm sending quite a lot over there. Now, auxiliary 1 is not going to be recorded as part of the channel strip, the guitar channel strip. All I'm going to be recording is I'm going to commit my angle tone to tape, and you can see I'm doing that over here. If I hit the insert effects to monitor, it means I'm only going to be hearing them. I'm not committing them to tape, so to speak. If I hit it on record, that tone is the one that's going to go down onto my guitar track within Pro Tools. Now, over into Pro Tools, one of the things people have said about using the Apollo is that they're having latency issues. I think we've covered this before, but you'll see here I'm using the virtual outs from Pro Tools out to virtual out 1 and 2, and I'm using the console as my monitor application. So if I play back my track, you'll see that the track comes in virtual 1 and 2. Which is great, and I can control the individual levels from Pro Tools, or I can control the master level of my track from here. I'm also using analog 1 and 2 as my monitoring controls from the guitar. I'm not using the Pro Tools mixer. In fact, I'm muting those two just because it's easier to do it that way. Back to the front panel of the Twin. If I hit the monitor button, you can see my master volume for my monitor. So if I turn it down, or mute, bright red, mute, very, very handy. Hit it again, I go over to headphones, and I control the level of the headphones. And again, back to monitor. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to blow in some guitar into this track, and we'll see what we get. So there you go, there's my review of the new Universal Audio Apollo Twin. This thing is going to take the world by storm. The preamps sound fantastic, as they always do with Universal Audio gear. The new Unison mic modelling technology is going to be incredible. Bring some more mic models out, or mic pre-models out, guys. It's going to be a real asset to this unit. The 610 makes a hell of a difference already. It sounds fantastic. It's well built, steel, we like that. It deserves to do very, very well. There are those who are going to say, but it's only got Thunderbolt on it. Well, as more and more companies, and let's face it, we're talking about PC manufacturers, because Macs have had Thunderbolt on them for a while, about 3 years, I think. PC manufacturers are going to catch up, and I'm pretty sure it's going to move into the PC platform as well. But I really like it. The Apollo Twin takes on everything else at this kind of space, kind of small desktop form factor, 2 mic pre's. The mic pre's, I say, are amazing, but no one else has the UAD 2 card inside, which is where all my processing has been being done. Obviously, UA's plugins are not the cheapest on the market, but in my opinion, they are the best sounding. I mean, we had 0 latency on that session. It sounds fantastic. Thanks very much to our friends at UA for letting me have a go with this thing and using it for a review. It deserves to do incredibly well, and I look forward to seeing it out there in the real world very, very soon. I know they're already shipping, so hey, go and check one out for yourself at a music store, and maybe this could be the answer to your studio prayers, so to speak. I've been James, and I hope to see you again very soon for another gear review.